Hi guys, welcome to another Chelmer Value Maths tutorial. Mr. Gordon here. We're up to exercise 1E in this video, and this is looking at some quadratics and how you expand those and how to factorize them. So let's have a look. When you expand the following pairs of brackets, because you've got two terms in the first bracket and two terms in the second bracket, then you've got to multiply every term in the second bracket by the x in the first bracket and also by the 4 as well. So you've got to do x times x times the 7, and then 4 times the x and 4 times the 7. Now, some students do find this difficult and make some mistakes. So a popular way to do this is the grid method, which has come through from GCSE when you've been multiplying 2-digit or 3-digit numbers together. So how do we set it out? It will look something like this. You draw yourself a grid, and you put the first bracket along the top, so you've got the x and the plus 4 here. It's important to include the sign. And then you've got the second bracket going vertically down on the first column, so you've got the x and the plus 7. And all you've got to do really is fill in the squares, and remember you're multiplying everything together. We're multiplying out the brackets. So the first one, the first box is x times x, which is x squared. Then we've got 4 times x, which is going to give me 4x. This box here is in line with the x and the plus 7, so it's plus 7x. And the last box here is the 4 times the 7, which is going to give me 28. And you'll have to, as you would in the grid method, you add up all your results. So you put them all out and you add them all together. But instead of having lots of numbers to add together, we've got different terms to add together, and we can only add together the like terms. So the only two that are the same are the two x's. X's won't mix with x squared, and they won't mix with numbers. So the 4x plus the 7x can be simplified to 11x, and that would be our final simplified answer. So have a go at the one below. Set yourself out a grid, pause the video and try and fill it out, and then I'll go through the solution with you. Okay, hopefully you've had a go at that, and let's just have a look. So we set out our grid, x and a plus 3, then we've got x and a minus 8. Go through the boxes. X times x is x squared, plus 3 times x is 3x, minus 8 times x is minus 8x, and minus 8 times a plus 3, well, a plus times a negative is going to be a negative result, so that'll be minus 24. And then we list those and try and add them together, again collecting the like terms. So if you set it out like this, it's quite nice really, because you will always get the two x's in the middle. Plus 3x minus 8x will leave us with a minus 5x overall. So our final solution can be written like that. It's an interesting idea when you come to factorize quadratics. So when you're starting with the quadratic and trying to put it into brackets, it's interesting to note what happens with the numbers. So when we're expanding, this is the expansion of these two brackets here. It's all been done for us. Let's just look at the numbers and see if we can spot something that's going on to make our lives a bit easier and a bit more intuitive as to how to factorize these. So the 2 and the 1, if you look at these numbers here, you've got a 3 in the middle term and you've got a 2 on the end. So, well, how do you get a 3 from 2 and 1? Well, hopefully you could realize that you add them together. And how do you get a 2 using the numbers 2 and 1? Well, again, hopefully you realize that by multiplying 2 times 1, you'll get 2. So, make a note of this. The middle number is generated by adding the two numbers from the brackets, and the number at the end is generated by multiplying the two numbers in the brackets. So it's a bit of a shortcut, and it's useful when you're factorizing these type of quadratics. So again, here's some with some negative signs in, just to give you an idea of how you work with those. You've got minus 5 and plus 3. So if you add those together, you'll end up with a minus 2x overall. And if you multiply them, you'll end up with a minus 15 at the end. Be careful with the signs. So again, same idea. So how does this help us when we come to try and factorize? Well, let's just have a look. If you start with a quadratic, so we've got our quadratic here, and we want to factorize it into two brackets, there's no common factors here, so that's when we know we need to use two brackets. We're going to list all of the factors. In terms of a method, we start by listing all of the numbers that multiply together to give us this plus 12 here. So what numbers are we aware of that give us plus 12? Well, let's start making a list of them. So we know that 3 times 4 is 12. We know that minus 3 times minus 4 is also 12. Some students often forget that you can use negative numbers in these factorizations. 12 and 1. So again, the negative versions would also give us a plus result. And then 6 and 2, and minus 6 and minus 2. Now, which of those pairs of factors of 12 will add together to give me the minus 7? Because those are the only ones that could be the answers when we're factorizing. Well, the two that we need are going to be the minus 3 and the minus 4. So those are the numbers from the brackets. So we just pop them in. Okay, and we know it's going to have an x and an x in the front because we need to get, sorry, let's go back, x and an x because we had an x squared here. So it's quite simple to factorize quadratics that have just x squared at the beginning. Now they do get more difficult, and I've done another video which will go onto the Chelmer Valley website and look for factorizing quadratics tutorial, and I show you how to do ones where the coefficient, the number in front of x squared, is greater than 1, and those are quite difficult, but I've got a great 5-step method that you can follow that will help you factorize those. So pause the video, have a go at factorizing this, list the factors of 16, and then select the ones that add up to 10. Okay, hopefully you've had a go at that. So you should have, if you did all the working, listed all those numbers there, and then selected the ones that add up to 10. So the 2 and the 8 gives the 10, and you put those into your brackets, and you factorize that quadratic. Again, pause the video and have a go at this example. Hopefully you've had a go at that, and I'll just show you the working. So that's the full set of factors, and then you're looking for plus 4 and a minus 5 to give you the minus 1 in the middle. Again, remember, that is a minus 1 here. The number's not written in, but you need to remember that if there's just an x on its own, or any letter on its own, the coefficient, the number in front, is a 1. Okay, so a bit more of an explanation about when you are working through your textbook, they might start referring to the things like this, the A term, the B term, and the C term. So a general quadratic equation looks like this. So the A stands for whatever number is in front of the x squared. So we've been working with examples where the number in front is just a 1, so you just have x squared. The B term, it will be whatever number is in front of the x, and the C will just be the number at the end. Okay, so you can, again, you can start to relearn the method, but using the correct language. So the two numbers in the brackets must be whatever multiplies to give you the C term. So the C term, again, is just the number at the end. So C would be 8. And then they have to add up to give you the B term. And the B term, in our example, will be the number in front of x, which is just a 6. Okay, and that's what we're talking about if I refer to the B term. So there's an answer to that one. Okay, so like I said, I would advise you to go and watch a video that I've made where it shows you how to factorize quadratics that have a number in front of the x squared, so a number larger than 1 in front of the x squared. So go and do that now before you carry on with the rest of these videos.